If you're a high school senior, this message is for you. If you're graduating in the next couple weeks, stick around and hopefully everyone can get a little bit of wisdom from this. I just wanted to come on here and say that I was in your shoes about 9 years ago, and I'm still growing into an even stronger version of myself. So if you're thinking to yourself how you don't have it figured out and you have no idea what you're doing, if you're enrolled in college and you're not sure if you want to be or if you have your entire life planned out, that's okay. And I'm incredibly proud of all of you for sticking around to see what you're made of. When I was your age, I had absolutely no clue what I was doing. And I still kind of don't, but that's not to say that I don't appreciate the opportunity of life that I was given. And that's more than I could say at 16, 17, in my teenage years. You made it through one of the most emotionally difficult times in your life. And high school is an absolute burden for mental health for a lot of people. So if you're graduating, just know that I'm incredibly proud of you for doing that, even if school comes easy or if it came extremely hard to you. If you have a plan to further your education, that's great. If you plan to go straight into the workforce, if you plan to take a year off, that's okay. And I'm incredibly proud of you for recognizing your wants. And as for me, I was enrolled in college. I emailed the admissions counselor a week before my classes were supposed to start, and I dropped out. And I don't regret it. Would it be cool to say that I have a degree? Yeah. But would it also be even more of a hindrance to my life if I were to have all of these student loans for a degree that I wouldn't use? That would be difficult. Because ultimately what I would have gone to school for was criminal justice, and could I have done something great with that? Yeah, I could have figured something out, but having a degree in criminal justice wouldn't have been what my life now would have benefited from. So I wanted to say, whether you're graduating with honors, if you have all the chords, if you're chordless, that's okay. You're graduating, and that's an accomplishment in and of itself. When I graduated, I didn't have any chords. I graduated with probably like a 2.8 GPA. And your GPA is not everything. It might get you into a good college, but a GPA, it does not determine how smart you are. A GPA does not determine your worth. Is it good for furthering your education? Yeah. But it's not everything. Don't put your value on how well you've done in school or how good you are at learning things, memorizing things. That's not learning. You'll learn in life, and you'll learn what you're supposed to in time. That's one thing that being an adult taught me, is that there's so much more to life than school. And that's not me saying or giving you permission to not go to college or not further your education or not graduate, because you should. You absolutely should, if that's what you want to do. But I want all of you to get the most out of life that you possibly can. And I also want you guys to learn more than you did in school. And if you've made it this far, then that means that this video means a little something to you. So I wanted to talk a little bit about mental health and overcoming your high school years. So when I was around 15, 16, 17, I didn't take my mental health seriously. I have ADHD and I have depression and anxiety, which I've now been diagnosed for. So when I was that age, I got diagnosed with ADHD, and ultimately that contributed a lot to the depression because I felt like I couldn't do a lot of things and I couldn't focus on anything. And I didn't want to believe that I was depressed. And I specifically remember telling my doctor at the time when she mentioned it, I'm not depressed, I'm not sad, but depression is so much more than that, and it weighs on you for years. And ultimately, by the time that you notice, it feels like the end of the world. And I know that there are some of you that might be watching this that don't want to plan for the future for whatever reason. But I wanted to say that you absolutely should. And you should stick around. Because as crappy as life is now, and as cliche as it is, life gets so much better. And it might take time, and nobody is better than anyone else at this life. We're all learning. Everyone has their own time frame. Everyone's on their own time. And that's the important part of life, is not comparing yourself to someone else. And I say that because I recently got an opportunity to travel for work. And I went to the West Coast, and I went to Las Vegas, and ultimately I went to the mountains. I went to Red Rock Canyon, I went to the Hoover Dam, and it really just made me think about life when I was a senior, a junior in high school, and how I kind of didn't want to further my life. And if I wasn't here today, then I wouldn't have got that incredible opportunity. I wouldn't have gotten to see such beautiful things like this. Or this. Or this. I wouldn't have stacked some rocks. I wouldn't have smelled whatever these are. These smelled amazing. I wouldn't have seen sunrises like this. Or eaten a fancy lunch like this. There's a lot of things that you'll miss out on that are absolutely incredibly beautiful. And I don't want you to miss those things. And it might take longer for some of you. It might be tomorrow. Who knows? But that's kind of the beautiful thing about life, is the fact that we don't know. And a lot of times it's unexpected. But you will fall in love with people and places and things and feelings. And a lot of times it's incredible. So I just want that to be one thing that you might take into consideration. If your life doesn't feel like it's working out or will work out, it might take time. It might take a lot of time, but it will, and you will feel the beautiful parts of life. And if 15-year-old me heard me saying this, she would think that that's a load of shit. And you might too, but I can promise you that if I clawed my way up from whatever hole that I was in, you can too.